Hey guys, on today's show, we're going to talk about Richard Garfield's The Hunger.
And the cheapest Kickstarter I've ever seen.
Sabaton's making a time-traveling board game, and Jurassic Park's getting a legacy game.
What? We're also going to dive deep into a bunch of co-op games that we all love, right? So stay tuned for that and more. Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today, we are going to break down some games we played, some news, crowdfunding, and then a topic that was suggested by Patrick Olmstead.
Oh, okay. But first,
oh, that's why it was so bad.
Oh, man.
Somebody just got uninvited to a whole bunch of cool
Yeah,
things.
no kidding. Yeah, so much for friends and family. Huh? Rescinded.
Everyone
but no,
knows
you should like and subscribe, right? Subscribe,
that's a
get
good
all,
idea.
Yeah, ring the bell, get all the notifications when we
Yeah,
release
that's a
stuff.
good idea.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I love this topic. It's all.
Yeah, it is true. It was actually,
true.
he suggested a perfect topic. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this will be a good one to talk about. So anyways, but first, games we played, guys.
Sure.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yep, so that's it. I felt
Nice.
very Spencery today.
Oh, no, you played The Hunger.
Well, that's the last one. I was letting you guys
That's
talk
true.
about
See,
your...
we always do those last because we
That's
all
true.
played
Okay.
It's like he forgets how we do the show. Like
Yeah.
every week we got to remind him how, like, hey, Tim, first
and
we
all
do
mine are with
games.
you. So do you have any
Cool.
that are alone?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Role player.
What? Oh, you played that again.
I played it solo. That's
Okay,
how I
yeah.
knew how to play it.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I learned how to play it. I played it a couple times solo, and then we had a game. Excuse me. We had a game night, and role player, the base game plays up to 4. We had 5 players. I'm like, you know what? I want Dan to play this.
I've been wanting to play it for a long time.
I
'cause
thought Bob had
wouldn't let me.
already played it, and there's a bunch of people at game night that play a lot of D&D and Pathfinder and whatnot, right?
Right.
So it's like
Up their alley.
this is a game for them. So yeah, so we could talk about role player for a minute.
Sure. Let's talk about role player.
So role player, it is a game about making your D&D character.
It's a dice drafting and management game, kind of in the vein of Sigrada,
right.
where you have your attributes, charisma and stuff, and you are drafting dice and then putting them in there, and you have so many things. You have an alignment card, you have a backstory card, you have a class card, and all those affect what you want, what dice
Maybe
you want in your
green
thing.
die in the
what you need.
second spot in the third column.
I'm a barbarian, so my strength needs to be 17 plus or whatever. So you're drafting dice and doing that. Different colors and different locations work. Every time you place a die in an attribute, it has an asymmetric ability that pops. So if I put one in strength, I get to do something.
Flip your die
Flip
from
your
one
die
face
from
to the-
one face to the opposite
like
side.
the opposite side. Sure.
So yes, and then that's basically it. You are so you draft dice, but then you also then not really draft, but then there's a market, and you're buying in a certain order cards in the market as
So
well.
you can buy equipment, which getting sets of equipment is worth more points, and you can get traits or skills.
Yeah,
that will give you extra
and it's
things.
really cool that the equipment is thematic to the most part. It's not D&D rules exactly, which
not
someone had a problem
It's
with.
not perfect, but
But like, so I was a monk, and I didn't want to wear heavy armor, but like I got more points if I wore leather armor, which was the lightest armor in
Right.
the game.
and then Caleb would not stop saying, well, monks don't wear armor.
I was about to say that, too.
I know, but again, remember, it's not D&D, it's role player.
Right.
Other systems exist.
What?
Sure, but show me a monk wearing leather armor, but okay.
I'll do it for Halloween. So anyway, yes, that's the basics of role player.
Yep.
It was awesome. It
Yeah.
was so much crunchier.
Oh,
than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, we were
Yeah.
like, dude, the math and stuff that goes in the puzzle solving of like, okay, I need to activate
Because
this,
there's times
that
where
does this.
it's not just like, oh, I need higher than a 14. Sometimes it is, I need 17. And
Right.
you've got a dagger, and it gives all of your white dice, for example, a +1. So now that jacks up your math potentially.
Yeah, so now
you
you
can
have to
discard it. You could try to discard it.
So you're trying to get 3 dice in each section. You're trying to get those 3 dice to equal the correct number. So let's say they need to equal 14 exactly. It needs to equal 14 exactly. Also, the colors need to be in certain spaces. So okay, well, I need this to equal 14, but also I need the third die in that row to be a white die. Okay. But also, when you put a die in that spot, it procs a power. So let's say, okay, well, if I put my white 5 here, the white 5 is in the right spot. It's Dex, so that lets me then turn that 5 into a 6. Now I'm at 13. Okay, so next turn, I'll put a die in this one. Just let me swap this 5 for this 3. Okay, so now this is at 14. I need to not touch Dex for the rest of the game. But then also, now that you filled up your Dex, You get some coins for filling it up, but then you can't activate that dex power anymore. It's full. You can't
Unless
put
you're
dice
the
there
monk.
anymore. Oh man,
Yeah, such
my
a good
ability
power.
was so good.
Such a good power.
During the buy phase from the market, instead of buying a card, I could discard a card, which is the thing you can normally do anyway, and you get some money for it. In addition to getting my money, when I discard a card, I get to activate any attribute of power. I just get to choose an asymmetric ability
so
and choose
good.
it. It
So
was
good.
insanely good and definitely helped me win. Like
right.
that power is
and then
insane.
also then depending on your race, because they've got all the different kinds
yep.
of races, you've got attribute bonuses and negatives,
Sure.
right?
Yeah,
Depending
yeah.
on. And what's funny though is I totally missed it the first time I played because I just grabbed human. Like I wasn't paying
Yeah,
attention.
and they're just
randomly
blank.
grabbed a board. It was human. A nice thing they do is they've got male and female side.
Yep.
Sure.
They're the same. And then but yeah, so there's no attribute negs or positives
yeah.
on there. So then when I was looking at the boards, like when I was teaching these guys, I'm like, hey, +2, -2. Oh my gosh! but it was a nice attention to
Yeah,
detail
yeah.
kind
Yep.
of thing,
Right.
right? So, anyways, role player Thunderworks Games. We're gonna get Bob to play this game, and then we'll do a review of it. But
Yeah.
I can already just tell you that like Dan and I both really enjoyed
It was really good, but just
I'll probably like
like
it.
I said, just get ready. It's way crunchier than you think it's going to be, and also I hear the expansion just makes it tenfold
Yeah,
better.
we'll probably
as
have
well.
to find the expansion.
Nice.
Because then you take the character you make and you use
Do
it
something?
to fight creatures and
Nice.
stuff. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but
sounds cool.
because Dan doesn't like games like Sagrada,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, this game, which plays similar, but I feel like
does.
there's way more
There's
mitigation.
so much more, and not just mitigation, but this puzzle
Just going
solving
on.
again of like, I
Yeah.
need this to do this, and this do this,
Yeah.
and this do this. It was really interesting. And
It's
again,
nice.
probably the
I'll
theme.
check it out. I've got it at home. I just haven't played it yet.
It plays very nice solo.
Yeah.
Super easy to learn too.
Okay.
It's
I'll-
really good.
You might
I'll try
use
to
that
make
as
a
an
point.
excuse just so you can tell Tim, I played it so that I can teach it. Right?
Right.
That's true. Too.
Other Tim, not
Other
me.
different Tim. Yeah, I have
Yeah,
other Tim.
Bob's been waiting to play this game
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a friend.
Yeah, because I got it from him. He traded to me for something else because he was bummed. He never got a chance to play it, so I've been trying to hold off and wait to play it with him.
Now you don't have a choice because we've got to do it for the show.
Oh, sorry, Tim.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. Anyways, we played The Thing, Infection at Outpost 31.
We did, which we'll have a review coming out at some point this week. Right there.
Yeah. Anyways, one of my favorite hidden traitor difficult co-op
Wow,
kind
spoiler.
of games. And remarkably on theme today.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Dan's
But-
first time playing.
Yeah, my first time playing. I had a great experience. I like games like that. I like that theme. I like that universe. The movie's good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good game.
Really good. Really good. What was the game we played in the middle?
Hues and Cues.
Hues and Cues. A game that Bob is.
We
Bob-
played because we can't play with Bob.
Yeah, specifically because the board is literally it is a grid with various gradations of color.
Okay.
It's a color, not wheel, but when you're like in Photoshop and you open up
Yeah,
the color thing.
sure, I know
Yeah,
what you're
it's
talking
that, and it's split up into hexes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So
Or
you've got,
cubes. I mean,
you've got
squares,
letters
sorry.
and numbers, right? So you know your coordinates.
Okay.
Where you're going. So yeah, unfortunately, Bob, this is a game not for you.
I just toss it in the Scoville pile.
Yeah.
I said though, it's terrible, but I think it'd be hilarious if we did a gameplay video on the channel and had you play and never mentioned that you were colorblind, just so that people watching were like, "What is he doing?
Why is he terrible at this
I just
game?
thought that'd be so funny. But just never mention it.
But in Hues and Cues, you're drawing a card and you've got 4 different options, and they tell you the coordinates.
Okay.
And then, but they're all they're 4 different colors that you can pick from, and so you are trying. You first you give one word clue. So what did a leaf or something, right? Like if you had like a greenish.
Peach.
Oh, peach. You had peach, or somebody said Kermit, right?
That was
one
me
time.
too. Yeah.
And we were like, well, we all were going for green, and somebody's like, well, what if it's like a different Kermit? It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
But anyways, there was a
There's
whole
only
thing
one
about it.
Kermit.
But yeah, so then your next clue, it has to be 2 words, and it can't be a previously used word.
Okay.
Also, you can't say like pink.
Right,
Or
you can't say a
darker
main color.
or lighter.
And you also can't reference a hint you gave earlier in the entire game. So, like, if someone was talking about a leaf earlier and someone went brown, I can't then later in the game go leaf. Try to
Leaf.
get them to get towards that same brown.
Right.
Okay.
And Dan came up with a really interesting thing because he gave a clue,
It was peach.
and we were all like, okay. So we all guessed. And then his second clue was, do you remember what it was?
Oh, God. Healthy plant.
Healthy plant. So we're all like, that's a terrible clue, because we all thought immediately, oh, that, like, we're all on the
Green.
wrong side.
Yeah.
We should go to like a darker green. But I hate to say this, but the brilliance of that clue was that he was
Don't use
trying
that
to
word,
get
talking
us.
about Dan.
He was trying to get us. We were very close with Peach, but he was trying to get us to shift down and over
to the right.
and to the right, like towards the greener color. So because a healthy plant is in this direction, then we knew that we needed to place our guesses. Well,
Somewhere
I
in between-
figured
somewhere
out.
in between there.
Right. What the reason I did it was the two words weren't technically linked, but I can't like say that. I can't say I
Right.
mean healthy plant. I mean healthy and I mean plant as
Yeah.
two separate words. And the point of that was a healthy peach is slightly more to the right than what you're thinking. Like think of like a pure healthy peach. You guys were a little too like
Yeah, we were a little
pink-
too pale,
little
not
too,
pink
Oh,
enough.
not pink
and
enough.
I was like, just scoot over to the right a little bit, and then I said plant to get them to go down a little bit towards
the
green. So I
green.
just wanted right, and I think like
So we all were like, "Oh, that's the dumbest
Yeah.
clue ever." And then I would go, "Ooh," like because it clicked, and I figured out what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so here's the thing: so everybody puts so you put your first guess
guess-
down, then you put your second guess down. Then there's this little square,
it's like a 3x3.
yeah,
Sure.
3x3, and then you put that where the main
Answer
color
is.
is right in the middle, and then everybody else in that square gets points. And if
Okay.
you nailed it, you get 3 points. But the thing is, you can't be on the same square as somebody else, so you have to pick your own square.
And the person whose turn went gets as many points as everyone else got combined. Right.
So the scoring system, I love the scoring system. It is.
It ended up a pretty close game, so it worked.
Yeah, except for Caleb.
Except
He did
for
terrible.
he came back at the end.
He did. He had a decent round. But it's really fun to watch people struggle to come up with the clues.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I had a good time with it.
It was cool. It's not going to be the top of my party games list anytime soon. There are other games that I just like more, and other games that I want to try that are kind of similar. Like I really want to try. I can never remember the name. The name with the
Oh, Wavelength.
Wavelength. I can
Yeah.
never remember that name.
With the
Like I really want to try Wavelength.
Well,
It
clearly
seems like,
I'm on his wavelength.
It seems
Apparently.
like kind of a similar. Like
Sure.
it's going to give you that same kind
Get
of
close.
feeling.
Yeah, America, right? The trivia game, is it America?
yes.
Uh-huh.
Or Terra also.
Yeah,
same kind
get
of thing.
close,
Yeah,
get close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting close counts.
So like it's not like it's going to be a huge thing for me, but it was fun. We had a
It
good
wasn't
time.
the disaster I was worried it was gonna be.
Right.
But it was
Dude,
also kind of fun to watch.
We started, and everyone at the table was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna be so bad at this," and we did okay.
Yeah.
With that circle thing reminded me of the or the square thing reminds me of the Treasure Island, right? You're like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
here. Is it anywhere in
It's
here?
not as
You
good
know?
as Treasure Island, which is a fantastic game.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no, it was pretty fun. We had a good experience playing it. And then today we played The Hunger.
Yep,
So
we
we
finally
all
played the Hunger.
finally played The Hunger. Richard Garfield
Yeah.
deck building, very similar to Clank, but different enough.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely comparable, but like they're not the same game.
Right. It's like comparing a deck builder to like Dominion.
Sure.
Or like these things have similar traits.
Yeah, but
not the same.
this does have Dominion traits in it though, where the scoring cards will kind of clog up
Clog
your
up.
deck, you know. But then
Yes.
it has a way to get rid of them, which I do like.
Digesting.
Yeah, so you got to digest those humans.
So
you know?
good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're coming. The map is basically like a spiral out of this castle, and so you're trying to get. You're coming out of the castle. The further away you go, the more bonus points you can get, and there's extra things you can get. But then by the end of the 15 rounds, you have to make it back to your mountain or castle or cemetery.
Right.
You know, you get negatives depending on how far out you are, and if you're not close enough, you might flat out not be able to score any of your points.
Yep.
Right, which I didn't word it like this in the review, but I can see the why, Bob. So you were going last a lot, and you said, "Oh, I don't have good picks, the cards, blah blah blah." But it's punishing you for not being risky. Is why it's doing that. Go out further.
Yeah, I was buying
Yeah.
people too early and not using my movement to get out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying you don't have to get out, but the punishment to that is you get less cards, but it's safer for you to get back. You can just collect a bunch of cards, eat cards, and then get back really easily, and other people might not make it back because you're not being risky enough. You know, like I think that's what they were trying to do with it.
It forces you to
Yeah.
push your luck a
But
little.
was pretty
we'll
close,
also have a review very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Right
that one.
there.
Right on. That's it for games
That's
we played.
it.
I think so.
All right, I'm going to go into news
Next
then real
section
quick.
is news.
News. So Great Wall is finally on its way to the United States.
Nice.
They actually, there had been a few delays, and it looked like it may not get here before Christmas. Now it looks like it might arrive before Christmas. We'll
Okay.
see what happens because
Merry Christmas.
I have had I had an order from Panasaurus that I placed the week before Thanksgiving. and
waiting on
it has been in a FedEx black hole where it has
Dude,
gone
they're the
to
worst.
it has gone from Kentucky
Yeah.
to Chicago, 2 hours from here, to Indy, 2 hours from here, and then sat in Indy for 2 days and has now been handed off to the post office,
Yeah.
thankfully, because
Yeah.
maybe they'll get it to me. But that's another potential 2 to 3 days, which is fine. But it's like, how is this package been all around me? Like, it went from like Tennessee to Kentucky to Ohio to Chicago to Indy. Like, so the problem is my Great Wall has been picked up by FedEx.
Oh no!
Which I'm like,
So the
I'm
cycle
gonna
begins.
get this really soon. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes FedEx comes and it's like right there, right on my door. And
Yeah,
no
I know.
problem.
I've had experienced that where it's like, oh, it's down south in Indy. Now it's north ahead of me.
And-
Oh, it goes right past my house. It goes to Michigan. I'm like, where are you going? Just drop it. I'll come pick it up. You
And
know?
what's jacked is that the delivery date
Uh-huh.
is like it would say, oh, it's going to be there on the 10th, and then the 10th comes and it's still just sitting in Indy.
Oh, yeah.
And then it switches to pending, on the 11th. And it's like, well, yeah, no
Kidding.
kidding.
Oh.
I hate it.
I'm just petting your soapbox. That's in
So
my
frustrating.
view.
And I get it. I would say I get it because it's the holidays and shipping is crazy, but this happens in the summer,
Yeah,
right?
all the time. FedEx. Yeah.
And-
It doesn't seem as efficient. That's all.
So speaking of shipping, the shipping lanes are unclogging.
Yes.
This will be a ripple effect, right? A trickle down effect, as we're not going to see the immediate benefits of this,
Right.
but things definitely in the next month, in the next few
moving.
weeks, they're going to be coming along a lot faster than they were. We will see when shipping prices come back down to earth. The problem is sometimes when prices go way up, they never
Don't
actually
really come back down again.
Yeah. They'll
Real
drop.
quick to raise them, and then they come back a little bit.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but fingers crossed that this is something, in the next 6 months,
Well,
we'll be closer to being back to like a normal.
yeah, I was kind of thinking and hoping that, like with the Chinese New Year, right, they're not shipping out quite as much stuff,
Right.
And that would give us a chance to kind of like undo the backlog completely,
Right. So the whole month of February,
Basically,
they could in theory. And now the shipping lanes around Atlanta and on the eastern seaboard are not near as bad.
Correct.
It's the Los Angeles and the
West Coast
San
kinda,
Francisco,
yeah.
like the Californian ones, which are the huge ones.
The big ones.
Those are the ones that are really having the problems. So again, and I think that's why Awakened Realms opted for Poland, was because it could ship things out faster from Poland
Yep.
than just shipping it directly from China, which is insane.
Yeah.
But whatever. Good on them. I appreciate their
Yeah,
efforts.
yeah, good looking out.
Like even
Trying
the
something
fact that they're trying, like I'm just really excited that they are being conscientious of
Yes.
the gamers. Exactly.
You're out.
Yeah.
Nanty Narking
Oh.
is an underrated and underseen
Yeah.
Martin Wallace game. If you bought the Kickstarter, you have the nice deluxe stuff, which I do. And but if you bought it on the shelves, you get the retail version, so it doesn't come with the miniatures and like the special buildings and all that
You
stuff.
about to say there's an upgrade kit?
There is an upgrade kit. You
Woot.
can pre-order now. It's $40 and it ships in March.
Okay.
So you can look that up. Have you guys even played that yet?
No.
You've
my
you've
gosh.
you've tried to play a couple times, but other things.
And
have
that's the
taken
game
the
that's like the other game I haven't played
It's
too,
like a
right?
Mork port, like the Discworld
Okay.
Terry Pratchett game, which I've never played. I just know that is a
similar.
For some reason in my head that was like
is
Tammany Hall or something.
basic. Oh,
No.
speaking of games I ordered from Pandasaurus,
There you go.
Nice.
Tammany Hall.
Nice.
Um,
You didn't have that?
No,
Criminal.
I know. I know. Well, it was out of
Good
print
luck
for a
going with those
while.
stickers. No.
It was out of print for a while, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to
Overpay.
overpay.
Sure.
So I waited, and thankfully they made. I'm shocked that somebody did a second printing, but I'm
Yeah.
really glad they
Yeah.
did.
It's a good game.
But anyways, so Nanty Narking, we will play that sometime
Okay.
because
Mhm.
because Martin Wallace actually designed the original version, the game that it is compared to, but he lost. You don't have the IP anymore, so he did a Victorian England, which is something way more in his wheelhouse, anyways.
Yeah, Nanty Narking is like Penny Dreadful kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Nanty Narking is like it's a Victorian slang term for like a wistful, doesn't matter,
Okay.
a lark kind of thing.
Lark.
Anyways, other news. Wonderbook is coming to the U.S. soon.
Wonderbook, we got a bunch of videos.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
And apparently people like watching us fail on the first.
Yeah.
So I believe the second version is we play the first mission correctly.
Yeah. How to actually play.
How to actually
It's
play,
not that we
yes.
played wrong. It's just that we may not have made it through. We may not have survived the first scenario the first time we tried to
In
play
this
it.
Intro,
family weight
rookie mission.
intro kids.
Yeah. Intro family weight. That's funny.
Do you guys have any news before I finish out mine?
I got a couple.
Okay, I'll let you do a few just to give it a break.
I got the big one. I evidently this was announced around Gen Con, but I haven't seen any of us talk about it, and I just saw the trailer video. Like the trailer video came out last week for Jurassic World: The Legacy of Isle Nublar.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is a Prospero Hall Funko Games legacy game in the
Yeah.
Jurassic Park universe.
Which is interesting.
Interesting. Which looks like they're gonna just have you. They haven't said this. It sounds like you're gonna play through the movies in order.
Okay.
Like and try to build up the park, stop bad things from happening and stuff like that. Because, so it's coming to Kickstarter in March of 22. And check out the trailer if you guys are interested. It's because the way they say it is there's going to be 21 playable characters by the end of the campaign, and they say from John Hammond all the way to, and they say some of the people's names from the newest Jurassic World
Sure.
movie. So they're wording it in a way that makes it sound like you play through the movies in order, like because otherwise,
the
why would you unlock the
episodes.
early characters first and the later characters later, right?
Right.
And there are 12 different dinosaur types in the game with all the basic ones, and who knows, there's probably like from the newer movies, like the crazy genetically enhanced ones and stuff.
Right.
But that's all I have right now. But I mean, a Jurassic Park Legacy game sounds cool. You just have to remember that it's Prospero Hall and Funko Games, so it's going to be probably a lighter game.
Which is why I don't think I ever
family
talked about
weight.
it, because
yeah.
and
But
do
it's their
this
first-
do this at your own risk
Uh-huh.
is dismiss a Prospero Hall game. I say that because they're very easy to dismiss, but most of them are actually pretty decent.
most of them are good, but they're like passable. I guess it's like
yeah, I guess I just feel like they're good surface level.
Sure.
But there's not a lot digging in. If you want like a crunchier game, you're
Right.
not going to get it there.
Exactly. And that slightly interests me in this, not because of that, but because this is their first time doing a legacy game. So I'm
Right.
wondering if this is going to be their step up.
Maybe.
You know? Or are you just going to make a nice family weight little legacy
And-
game? You know, we'll
and-
see when more trailers and stuff come out when it
And
comes
Prospero
to Kickstarter.
Hall is also interesting because the way that they do games, right? So they have a stable of game designers, right? That they keep on hand.
Right.
That they all pay retainer, whatever. And then they acquire all these IPs. And I'm assuming that they get access to these IPs because of like the Funko Pops and things that they make and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So they at least have inroads, right, with these people to get IPs. So then what they do is they go, okay, we want to make a Gremlins game. Dan, what's your pitch for a
Right.
Gremlins game? Bob,
Yeah.
what's your pitch for a Gremlins game?
And then they just take the one they like the most. Yeah.
Correct. And then it's like, okay, well, you didn't get Gremlins because we like Bob's better. But how do you feel about doing a Jurassic Park one? You know?
I can make a legacy game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do that.
All right, deal. So it's interesting because I don't know if other companies function like that. I just know that Prospero Hall specifically functions like that. You know, because I think when like Simon hires Eric Lang, they hire Eric Lang to make Eric Lang games.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
They have a certain feeling and everything.
I
for
mean,
sure.
right. So it will be interesting to see. Yeah, I dismissed it out of hand early on, but the more that things are coming out about it, it's like, well, that does kind
I
of
mean,
sound
I can
interesting.
see why the Prospero Hall thing makes you dismissive, but I just don't care. The second I hear Jurassic Park Legacy game, I'm like, oh, I want more information.
Yeah,
So-
but like the second you start including any of the other movies, then like maybe the first one and a half, I'm also like,
sure.
because I don't. I
It's
want to
definitely
like.
one of those series.
I
yeah.
want to like more of them,
Mhm.
but I don't. I really want to like them, but I really don't.
Kind of a funny, quick story.
Yeah.
Out-
Where you were wearing high heels and running from a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's amazing.
and then,
Yes, and
yes, and no, I was driving around the other night, and there was a bunch of flashing lights, and we pulled up, and there was like a big accident, right? Cop cars and everything like that. But there was also a Jurassic Park vehicle with the lights on and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, dinosaurs have escaped and are destroying cars all over the place. It was amazing.
I thought you were gonna say like the banner is like falling down.
Oh, no. Yeah, it was pretty funny though.
That's amazing.
Like he must be like a volunteer or something that was
Yeah.
just there helping out, but just to have the Jurassic Park vehicle there with all the
There
lights
is
on.
one of those cars. I see that car around
Yeah, like
town.
that Jeep or whatever. Yeah. Big
Yeah.
yellow one with the Jurassic Park. Yeah. That was great.
Really quick, I don't think we've talked about this, which is just insane. Have we talked about the Tapestry expansion yet?
Nope.
So we haven't even covered that.
I was hoping
to
we'd get one.
Yeah,
but we haven't.
Oh, okay. So Tapestry Arts and Architecture was announced a while ago. It's been a few weeks, and we haven't mentioned it. So we might have mentioned it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it has a fifth track now, the arts track, that doesn't replace one of the other ones. It has another track that you can work on that has its own different mechanics. So it adds masterpiece cards that give you more things that proc on each of your income turns. So as you're taking these masterpiece cards, they look like kind of technology where they splayed out and you take one.
Okay.
But they impact income turns, so that's nice. More resources on your income turn is always nice in that game. There are inspiration tracks. This is fascinating to where when you get them, you replace your income track. So the one where you put your little houses on, they cover those and they make the benefits you get during your income better. So like if you're working on your red track a lot, you can just replace that with a better red track.
Okay.
You know, I find that really cool looking. There are 5 new civilizations, of course, and there are, I still don't know how they work, but there are also advanced capital boards now. So your little Sudoku board that you have, when you get your civs handed to you, you also get one advanced board randomly, and they have like these asymmetric things on them. So the one that I keep seeing pictures of has lily pads randomly placed around it on the like the no build zone, the gray no build zones, and it says the lily pads count as no build zones. Like you don't have to build on them or whatever, and they won't count as negative. They count as filled or whatever, right, for the points. But at the end of the game, every lily pad showing is like -2 victory points or something like that, right? So it's like you can build on them to negate that, or you choose not to. Some of them just look crazy. There's like Tetris patterns of different colors on one, and I'm like, what do you do on that one? Like, you know, so those are interesting. But yeah, that's mainly it. A lot of people are saying this, but I'll just, you know, retell what everyone else is saying. The first expansion was definitely here's more of the same thing. Let's add more
And
to
I
the
like
game.
that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
And this expansion is definitely here's
some different
all
stuff.
new stuff.
Yeah, we're changing
You know,
things
put in
up.
what you want. Modular, kind of throw in the mechanics you want and play with
Right,
them, and it looks
right.
cool. Obviously, that's a bunch of new tech and blah and blah and blah and landmarks and blah. But, you know, it adds all the basic stuff too. But, yeah. And then the last one I'll cover really quickly because this is fascinating to me. Sabaton. You guys know Sabaton?
Sounds
The
good.
Swedish
Yeah,
band.
they're awesome.
They're getting their first game, so it's not like about them, but they are helping make it. It's called A Battle Through History.
Yeah.
And it's being published by, I don't know how to say these, but it's Pegasus Spiel and Scribabs. It's an Italian publisher. I'm guessing it's Scribabs because their pictures like someone writing, like scry, you know. But anyway. And yeah, Sabaton is like a Swedish heavy metal band.
Yeah, they're great. They sing
awesome.
a lot about like World War II and stuff too. It's pretty great.
Pegasus Spiel, by the way, Spirit Island, Brass, Underwater Cities. A lot of games we like and know.
Nice.
So each player is playing time-traveling storytellers that are going through time and to multiple eras and collecting heroes and soldiers to join your team.
Fantastic.
And then you're using those
Bill and
heroes.
Tedding it. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then I really think Sabaton was like, so we can make a Bill and Ted game? Like,
Yeah,
that's what it
that
seems
sounds
like.
great, yeah.
And then you're using those hero stuff to collect like artifacts from history as well. And then so at the end of the game, you get points for your heroes and artifacts, stuff like that. But then also, super vague, but they just say it, and you can customize your deck. So like some kind of deck building mechanic built into your two.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sabaton, I'll tell
That's
you right now,
fantastic.
every time I listen to No Bullets Fly, I literally cry.
Yeah.
That song is one of the best. It is I researched that story after listening to that song, and I bawled.
Can somebody play it so Dan cries?
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional right now. That song
Yeah.
is so well done, and Sabaton is fantastic.
Yeah.
Not
that
like my favorite band ever, but
Yeah.
they're fantastic.
Yeah, they are really good. Is that the one about the ceasefire over Christmas?
It's the German pilot that wouldn't shoot down the crashing American pilot.
Yeah,
And
okay.
he guided him home
Yeah.
instead of shooting him down. And then years later in their 80s, they met each other in real life and became best friends until they died.
That's awesome.
For like one more year.
It is
Just kidding.
ridiculous. It's so emotional for me.
Yeah, they got
but
some
anyway,
really good like true story types of and like the dude's like a bard. He really just I picture him like if he was a Viking back in the day, just like you know.
but A Battle Through History. Don't know if it's gonna be good or not.
Yeah.
Sounds fascinating.
Totally worth checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
so
awesome.
that's my news.
Yeah.
That's way more exciting than Funko.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Jurassic-
Dan wins
Jurassic
the
Park.
best news of the day award.
Couple things real quick. The Hunger, Richard Garfield's The Hunger, is now on shelves. So if you missed it like I did at Gen Con, you can go out and get it now. So don't overpay. MiniSteel is also available on their website. You might be able to find it in some FLGSs, but
Ask him to order some.
But you can, definitely.
Yeah.
But you can definitely get it off of their website. We might be doing something with them where we're going to give away some copies of MiniSteel.
Awesome.
That is in the works.
We
We'll
have
see what
a
happens.
bunch of videos on it. It's a take that
Yeah.
card game. Check them out if you're interested.
Yeah, I would say check out the video and just see if that is a thing for you. But they're awesome people, though, too. Really happy for them that they got a game made. And then again, the thing, Infection at Outpost 31, is back in print.
It's back.
I just want to shout that from the rooftops because I think that's a fantastic game that more people should see. Bob is like full on board today. But anyways, so that's all my news.
Yep.
Go to crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
I'm leaving this to you guys because I just went heavy on news.
So I'll just go. It's not even out yet. By the time this video drops, it should be out. I think it drops in the next 2 days or something like that. But I saw on GameFound actually a game called Ancient Blood: The Order of Vampire Hunters. It is a cooperative, story-driven game.
I have played the Order of Vampire Hunters. This must be the new one because I have an older version of that, which
okay.
is very
I didn't
zombicide-ish
know
with
that.
vampire-y.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
It's by Dark Gate Games. Does
Yep.
that sound familiar?
Yep.
This is their first project on GameFound, so
Okay.
the other one might have
Was
been on
Kickstarter,
Kickstarter.
yep.
So it's a cooperative story-driven game. You can play solo and you can play in like one-offs instead of
Yep.
doing the campaign. But that's all I have because it's
Yeah.
just a preview right now. You can't look
Okay.
up anything about player count or anything
Okay,
like that
sure.
yet. The only thing I was going to say was because you say zombicide, from the
Yes.
pictures and from the description, again, that's all I can go off of. It looks insanely Bloodborne-esque.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks insanely Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Like not only from the art, but like a lot of the game mechanics too. So
Okay. Well, so I don't know the specifics about this game, but I can tell you in the other game, there's like the day and night cycle, right? So you have a couple of rounds in day, then it goes to night. The vampires are weaker during the day. They wake up, they're stronger at night. And when it's daytime, you can do things. We have the thing called the extractor. So if they're close to the door, you can pull them out in the sunlight and things like that.
Yeah, because you're all like Van Helsing vampire hunter type people.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
And then there's different types of like the vampires too, right? Because it was back when what was that? The Strain was on, and so like some of the vampires had like the little tongues that come out and like grab you.
Left 4
and-
Dead stuff.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. But
Blade
it's
2.
super neat. Like all the terrain bits and stuff. Because I got like the terrain upgrade pack, and it's pretty neat game. It's just like it was kind of like the Fire Team Zero, where it was like. Kind of a lot, right? You know, and maybe hopefully with this one they've kind of streamlined it a little bit better to make it easier to get the table and whatnot. But yeah, the first one was super.
Everything you just described sounds really cool.
Neat. Yeah, like some of the things you could do are super.
Just
sweet.
how Bloodborne it looks, I was like, well, I'm interested. And
Yeah.
now you're saying all this.
Yeah.
It looks cool. So
Yeah, I'll let you
I was
check
just
out
going to
the
say,
stuff,
check
so.
it out when it drops. It'll By the time this video drops, it should be up.
Sweet.
Right on.
So I got a little one. This one's kind of for Jason a little bit. It's called Planes, Trains, and Argyle. It's a roll and write revolution. It's $3.
Oh, that's why it's
It's $3. So it's fully funded already.
He's like, that's too expensive.
It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe, you know. But there's 3 different games that you get. It's going to deliver immediately after the campaign. You're going to get PDF files, so you can just
Okay.
print them out at
Oh,
home,
sure.
take them someplace else. It's going to print it out and whatnot. And so there's Rainbow Airlines, Argyle, and Train in Vain. And the Train in Vain is like a holiday themed one where you're trying to build like railroad tracks to Santa's house and whatnot. But they're all like, all have their own little different themes to them, and it's little simple roll and writes and $3.
Did you back it then
$3.
for $3?
I'm going to.
And who doesn't like Argyle? Let's be
Right?
honest.
I like Argyle.
I mean, the dude from Die Hard, the limo driver. I love
yeah,
him.
right.
He's cool.
Argyle. Yeah, he's
Super
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Love Argyle.
Not a Christmas movie. Anyway.
What?
What?
Okay, we're gonna have to
That's a whole different
take
show.
this out. Okay.
Anyway, so that's it for crowdfunding.
Yeah, that was
then?
it. Yeah.
Okay, so cool. We're gonna get into our topic today.
Okay.
So our topic, Patrick asked for a suggestion on
He asked for a
difficult,
suggestion.
difficult. He asked for like difficult co-op games. You know, what do we
What
like?
makes co-op's fun?
I want to look up what
What
they
he actually said?
What he just said that they finished. They played Unfathomable.
Yeah.
And him and Julia were both traders,
Oh, nice.
Nice.
and yeah, they won.
Nice.
So they were. He said he was very impressed. 2.5 hours to play. There's room, for expansions, and yeah, I mean 5 players. So
Yep.
So he was
5
like,
players, 2.5 hours, and that was a learning game. See, that's good.
man, that's a home run, right? I mean, because that's the knock on BSG is that it can run longer.
Yeah.
And
Usually it's 3 hours minimum for BSG, even not a learning game.
And
So-
So anyways, good, difficult co-ops with like 5 or more players. I don't necessarily think it has to have the trader mechanic. But again, even a legacy style one, because that was another thing, is he's like, so you have a legacy style ones. And so we then immediately started talking about mind management. I know I talk about mind management all the time. I freaking love that game. If we do like a year in review, like new to us games, and even though that one is new this year, that one would rank pretty high for me.
I will also tell you, I don't know if you're still on the same topic because I only listen to you half the time.
Sure.
I would not count on Fathomable or Mind Management as a cooperative game. I wouldn't even consider it.
There is a co-op aspect to it because it is a team. There is a team playing against another person.
Exactly. So, yeah. I wouldn't
And
call
in mind management, you know exactly who you're playing against.
Right.
Where
1v many.
Sure.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I would never include on this list.
I'm just going off of what spawned the conversation.
Totally fine.
Right? And so normally, like when I think about a good co-op, now this isn't news to Patrick because he introduced me to these games, right? But Defenders of the Realm, Defenders of the Last Stand, specifically games that he... The first time I played
them
more with him.
games.
They are great friends and family games.
Mutations are really good, Bob.
Yeah, mutations are good. They are.
Take 'em.
They're good.
That was a
get 3 of them.
disaster. But anyways, so do you guys have some good co-ops that are difficult, good for 5 players?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I didn't in the text that I saw. I didn't see the word difficult, but I did write them down because I like
just
difficult
assumed
co-ops.
difficult because we like difficult co-ops.
But
easy co-ops are
not
lame.
all these are technically difficult, but sure. I have a bunch I could talk about, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
So I would say probably Cthulhu Death May Die would probably be one of my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Haven't
co-op
played
games.
it, right?
I played it once.
Oh, you have. Okay.
Yeah, like I really enjoy that one because you have your players and you're like kind of leveling them up and whatnot.
I'm
and I
mad at
enjoy
that game because it's A, hard to get, and B, I just hate the way CMON does their stuff sometimes.
I hear you.
And I didn't back it kind of out of spite, and then I played it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty
I
good.
should have backed this.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost a Mansions of Madness killer. And Mansions of Madness is really good.
Yeah, but I hate their minis.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
These are
great.
the plastic base, and you put the guys on there, and they don't like. Unless
They're not great.
a fan. Yeah,
They're not great.
But I love the storylines and like the
But the
campaigns and stuff.
gameplay is
Yes,
amazing.
The gameplay is good,
and
the
it's
minis are
way
terrible.
more in depth. Cthulhu
Yes.
Death May Die is a much lighter version.
Yes, and it's easier to pick like, I'll do this scenario, and I want this Elder God. Whereas Mansions of Madness is like you're using the app, and you're like, this is what you need. You're going through this. You're going through this. You're going through this.
Yeah.
And it's not as customizable.
Sure.
Yeah. But
Yeah. That's Cthulhu Death May Die is a really good one.
yeah, it's probably my favorite of the Arkham
Oh,
style
sure.
of games. That's why I wanted to mention it first.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Daniel, one you don't want to talk about.
So the first game I wrote down actually, so I was thinking about I went through my own collection, of course, and then I went through just like popular ones to try to boost my memory because I'm waiting for you guys to mention them to be like, oh, I forgot to write that down, But the first thing I wrote down, I wanted to write down Sentinels of the Multiverse, and I wrote down something else instead.
Yeah, I know which one you wrote down.
What did I write down?
The improved
Robinson
version.
Crusoe?
No,
Oh.
Marvel Champions.
I wrote down Marvel Champions. That was the first one I wrote down.
That is
Nice.
and that does potentially have I don't want to say legacy aspect as much as a campaign aspect.
Sure, you can play
Sure.
through in the or you fight the villains or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
in those box
Packs,
expansions
yeah.
that aren't just the single pack.
Correct.
So Marvel Champions is 1 to 4 players by Fantasy Flight Games, and it's you're fighting a bad guy. You all have your decks. It has a cool deck building thing at the beginning where your hero has certain cards he's allowed to have in his deck, and you can kind of choose, I guess. But there's like recommended.
No, there's a 15 card specific for
Right,
the
there's
character, and then
those.
you can pick an aspect: protection, aggression.
Right,
things
I'm
like
just saying that usually it's like this hero is usually better with protection
Sure,
because
sure.
of his powers, but you can take whatever you want.
Yes,
Yes,
you
and
can.
you're building those, and then there's generic cards also that you throw in your
basics.
deck. So you have this little asymmetric deck compared to everyone else, and then you're swapping between alter ego and
one of the
hero.
coolest
And so alter ego,
mechanics.
the villain can't hurt you. They don't know who you are, but they get away with more because
Right,
you're not
because they're
you're
plotting,
not
yeah, they're
actively
scheming.
you're not
Yeah.
actively stopping them.
So they're working towards their plot.
So you all have
Their
to
schemes.
together kind of plan this out of like, okay, Bob really needs to alter ego this turn. That's fine. That means I can't. We can't let him. We
Scheme
can't let
too
two
much.
people scheme.
Correct.
So I'll stay in hero mode. You're activating your abilities that are all so good. Man, when I played Hawkeye, my
yeah.
jaw dropped at
That
how
was cool.
thematic that was because it was literally you could like discard a certain card, or you could activate your hero power. It was probably his hero power, and you just take the top 4 cards of your deck, and if there's an arrow, add it to your hand. Because Hawkeye, if he reaches for an arrow, he's probably getting one.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of arrows in his deck, right? And then like his, all his arrows are trick arrows. You can stun. You can do all this stuff. I literally was like, I was so happy when I
Yeah.
saw that arrow mechanic. You feel like Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And if there's one negative to Marvel Champions, it's that I wish the decks were
little long.
slightly more asymmetric. You're right,
Oh,
it's
okay.
too long.
It's a little long.
But like I loved it in Sentinels. You have none of my cards.
Yep.
You are that hero. I
Yeah.
am this hero.
Yep.
In Marvel Champions, the way they did it makes more sense. And the game does end up more balanced because of it and more fair.
Yeah, because in Sentinels, there's definitely times where it's like this combination of characters
Does
will
not
never
work.
beat
Yeah.
that villain.
Exactly.
Because you don't have anything to handle the environment. You don't have
Yeah.
anything to handle this. Yeah.
Right.
Which is realistic, you could say, like if,
Sure.
but not as fun, right?
Right.
And yes, Marvel Champions overstays its welcome quite a bit.
Especially if you're building the decks beforehand.
Yeah, you
Have the
really
decks
need to.
built.
It's almost like playing like a TCG or like a X-wing miniatures game where
Right.
plan your deck ahead of time, go online, build it on some app, and then show up and be like, okay, I need these cards.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and be
Yes.
ready.
Yes,
Good advice.
because I do not want to wait.
Yeah, I don't want 30, 45 minutes for you to build your freaking deck.
I kind of want to see if
Yeah.
they have an app, because if not, guys, make a Marvel Champions app where you can pre-build decks.
Yes.
Do that. It will. Your fans will make it a couple bucks. Your fans will buy it. They will love it. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, that's my first one. Check it out if
Yeah.
any of that interests you.
Yeah, and Sentinels, right? Sentinels, your deck is right there. There's no
Yep.
waiting for everybody to build
Yep.
your deck.
This is Wraith. This is Legacy. This
Yes.
is, yeah.
And Sentinels is really good.
It's
It is.
fantastic.
they just
it's
did
just,
it. They did it first. Marvel Champions kind of improved on the formula a little bit.
It's just Sentinels is super fiddly to where I don't
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
Marvel
Yeah.
Champions is nearly as fiddly.
it's
a
fiddly,
little
but
fiddly,
not.
It's a
not
little,
as-
but yeah,
not as
nowhere near. I
Not
think.
as.
But
correct.
yeah, it's
That's
so
a really good one. Yeah, that's a really good
and
one.
it's very hard.
Yeah.
Depending on, I guess, who you're fighting, but usually it's very hard.
So Patrick was like, oh, especially 5 players. But one of my favorite co-ops that's 4 players that I've played, and I haven't finished the thing yet, but it is a legacy style, is Mechs vs. Minions.
Oh, yeah.
Man, is Mechs
So
vs.
good.
Minions really good.
Out of the box, even. Just like
Out of the box,
beautiful.
top-notch production value. You don't have to do anything to that game but maybe sleeve it.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, and it's super replayable too, because you could just play the first scenario like 7 times.
You can.
Because I keep
Sure
teaching
can.
it. Have you played it yet?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
yeah.
we
I
gotta
keep
play all the
asking you
scenarios.
guys.
We don't have to start with the first ones. We can just play the advanced.
you know what?
Advanced
I'm
ones
down.
right
I
away.
can hop in. I'm a good gamer.
Whatever.
Oh. Apropos of
right
nothing.
here.
Wait,
I
no one
can't
can see that but
quite
me. I'm
forget. Yeah.
confused.
But I think that Mechs vs. Minions, man, we hype this game up. I hope that it matches your expectations when you
I'm
play.
honestly,
Program movement.
I was gonna say that's the only thing that really interests me is I still have never played a full on programmed movement game.
Okay.
and
Sure.
I'm interested in that being my
Yeah.
first.
I just
It's
love how you
really
get
good.
damaged and like something gets stuck. So normally you're doing things the way you want to, and then all of a sudden now you have damage. So you're trying to go and sudden, so you just
Yeah.
turn one direction, and now you got to go that way. It's
the
fun.
theme.
Yeah.
It's so. I've never played
League of Legends.
League of Legends
Yep.
at all. It is based in that. That's the theme of it. I don't care. I
Yeah.
love the game.
Same.
I absolutely love the game. I think it's
And-
fantastic.
And for being a video game designer decided to make a board game and it
Yeah,
was that good.
great job.
That quality and that gameplay.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of crazy.
And a great
And
price point for what you
the
get.
fact that they announced they're working on a second game and stuff is like, what are they doing? Because their first one kind of hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the nice thing though is that they're like, well, we've got all this money because they're board gamers. Or they're fans of board games,
Right.
and they just wanted to make a game they want to buy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they nailed the insert. They nailed the components.
They did.
They painted everything. You know,
Yeah.
even the
Washed,
gray,
pre-painted.
even the gray minis have a wash on them. You know, and it's like, there's just the secrets that you
Yeah,
uncover.
secrets that
And
you
the
unlock.
price for what you're getting
Yeah.
is also
It's $80
really
bucks.
good. Like it's an
Yeah.
expensive game, but then you see what you get.
Yeah.
and it's a
It
steal.
is a
Hands
steal
down,
for
so worth it.
It is
Yeah.
a steal for $80. If you ever see one cheaper, buy it.
right.
Just buy it. It is really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mechs vs. Minions is so good, top notch, man, just great.
Okay.
What else you guys got?
One that we just played recently that we only got one mission into, Wonder Book.
Oh yeah, Wonder.
know?
I'm glad you enjoyed Wonder Book as
Yeah.
much as it seemed like you did.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and like the little like dragon thing and everything else. Like I mean, that's just amazing, you know. Like it's just
Wonder Book
a
has
lot
that
in
thing
there.
that kind of like I was talking about with the Thing, which I know not everyone's going to agree on for that, but to where it's like it's one of those games like a Descent Legends of the Dark, but it's like let's just relax.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a nice chill version. Let's just have fun for a bit. You
oh
know?
look, we all took damage.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Oh.
like, yes, I'd love to jump into Descent and really get my butt handed to me and stuff, but like tonight, let's play Wonderbook and just have fun.
Yeah.
Well, and again, though, right? You just nailed one. Descent.
I was going
Right.
to say that one
I was
too.
waiting
Yeah,
for it, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is a fantastic game.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And now that you don't have to do the 1V and you can just use like the app like
Yep.
for them in like the Star Wars Imperial Assault
Yeah.
thing, the same.
Yeah, I would. I'd lump all those right together.
Yep.
I just think that is a campaign that you will find worth playing.
Yep.
If you can't afford it, but maybe you get everybody from your game group to chip in because you're going to play as long as you guys are all going to play through it together.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
It makes a very good game, very accessible. And you have seen the price come down. I
bit.
saw on even Black Friday, like there was some local stores to us that had it a little bit cheaper. And then what they would do is they would run, it wasn't that Descent was cheaper. It was just like, 10% off all games in the store,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
That ain't nothing.
When you're talking that kind of money.
Yeah, I mean, that's like $16 off, $17 off, right? I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And again,
Covers the tax.
it's worth it. If you like that style of game.
Yeah. There's a lot of content there.
Very worth it. I'm glad that Wonderbook.
Yeah.
I think Wonderbook's really fun. I think that as more people start to see it, they're gonna
Discover
really
it, yeah.
they're gonna really like it.
Yeah. I only actually have one on here that is technically 5 players. There's another one it is, but it's a cop out kind of thing. So I only have one that's 5 players because again, I didn't see that in the message.
No, I didn't put that in the message.
But
I
I guess for Patrick, I don't know if he's played it, but 5 player, 2 to 5 players by Meromorph Games, I believe it's called.
Oh yeah.
The Shipwreck Arcana right
Yeah.
here. I went into this game knowing nothing except that it
Same.
sounded cool.
Right.
Like people had described it. I was like, that sounds cool. This is a cooperative deduction game to where each player has like numbers in front of them, and then you are playing things. I've only played this once. You are playing things on cards that have rules. So play it here if your number is odd.
high, yeah.
Or this high, or between this and this. And you're putting that out there, and then everyone is kind of doing cards and activating cards, and you're trying to deduce what numbers everyone has. And it's fascinating.
But it's co-op.
I really
Yeah,
So
but
you-
it's co-op.
So everybody's working together.
because you want to be correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't know what else to say about this game. Just if a cooperative deduction game that is super fast, this has 20 minutes on the box.
Yeah.
And I
Even
mean,
the pieces are kinda
and
cool
you're
for
oh
small
yeah, these
The
are little
artwork's
wooden, and
great.
you're gonna get a deep experience, I think,
Yeah.
out of this. But these are like actual like plastic. You're not gonna be able to
they're
see
plastic,
that.
not wood.
Yeah,
Still.
I believe they're plastic. They might be wood. I can't feel them through the thing, but they are thick. They're not cardboard shits,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Is like what we're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was basically.
But just a deep experience, guys, from this
Yeah.
game that I think you're also going to go into it, and it's going to like not blow your mind, but it's going to be so much more than you think it is after you play it, because that's what I walked away from. But Shipwreck Arcana, guys, insanely cheap, fast shipping, fast playtime, cooperative deduction game. What an amazing mixture of words.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that again, like it's awesome when you can find these little kind of
gems.
hidden
Yeah.
gems, right? And yeah, it's get the production quality is so good on it. It's so good on it. So what did I had one and now it's gone now. But so mind management, for example, I agree. It's not a straight
It's
straight
fine.
co-op.
You can put it on your list. I wouldn't have written it when thinking about it.
But I do. What I find really interesting about that is that there is the cooperative aspect, and they also kind of sneak in that legacy part, right?
Oh, sure.
By depending on who wins, that
Unlock
they
different
unlock
things.
different things for either side, right? So it helps the team that keeps losing to become more powerful, because then it's going to start to shift, and then they're going to open up other things, and then they've just got so much stuff hidden in there. Like it is, I just always
Literally can't stop talking about it. Thanks.
Yep.
yeah off the page games.
Yeah.
But anyways, but yeah, that's
That's
a
fine.
thing.
It'll come to you.
Gloomhaven, you got to say Gloomhaven.
I was
Sure.
waiting for Bob to
Yeah.
say Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to say Gloomhaven.
Yeah, it's great. And
Even if you dip your toe in Jaws of the Lion.
Yep. It's a great game. It's on even the online version is like really, really good.
Sure.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
It does. But actually, I was going to say first, talking about larger player games, Between Two Castles. It's basically co-op because you're playing with the people beside you. And
Yeah,
you're cooperating
sure.
with them to try to
Right.
make the best
and
ones.
you can play. Yeah, you play with a large player count. and
Yeah,
still-
up to 7.
that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Daniel.
Dan?
Sure, I'll mention 2 games together because I like them both for the exact same reason. They're both kind of niche, one way more than the other. But my favorite co-op. I've talked about this before, and I don't know how to word it.
I'm gonna tell you you're wrong.
Okay,
is. 'Cause
my
I know what your
favorite,
favorite one is.
style of co-op is what I'm saying. My favorite like mechanics.
I know what your favorite co-op is.
My favorite mechanics that go into a co-op are when you each have a job, and it is an extremely asymmetric job. You are a gear in a machine.
Cog in a machine.
Yeah. So like think of like a game like Root or a game like Merchant's Cove, but cooperative. Like to where you have this very specific job. You handle the finances. You do this, and we have to do this together. Like Endanger. Endanger does a very similar thing. I just didn't love it as much. But yes, XCOM is number one, and U-Boot. Yeah. And U-Boot is number two. These are very niche games. Not everyone likes them. You have to really like what you're getting at here in order to like them. But both games leave me in a different state of mind.
Yeah, you love the experience.
Yeah, during and after playing, of just like, you both games are timed. Both games are you need to do these things. No, you don't understand. You can't spend that money on science, Bob. We have to hire more soldiers.
Right.
In XCOM, and Bob can only select a certain budget during the game and stuff,
Right.
and you're handling that, and that experience of having these different asymmetric jobs working together, as like I said, the best way I can just describe it is you're all gears in this machine, and you have to keep this machine moving forward. And U-Boot, one person is literally navigating a submarine like you would have to in real life.
Yeah.
And the
compass.
you have your morale track, and then you have your, you literally move your guys around this giant 3D submarine in different rooms. So like if I haven't actually had this happen, but I've heard if this room starts flooding, you got to move your characters out of that room and shut the door and then get your repair guys in there. Drain the ballast tanks. It's
so
the experience of U-Boot. We played U-Boot for 4 hours straight. Just a learning game. We weren't sure what we were doing. We never finished the mission or whatever. We were just testing stuff out. We were like, oh my God, I can't wait to play this again. Yeah. And
you need to take a class on how to be the navigator.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I for a week, I saw videos, and I did okay, but still, there's just too. I didn't go to college to steer a submarine
or boot camp.
And I didn't go to boot camp and everything. I didn't learn these things, so it was rough. We did it all correctly for the most part, except that for some reason we never figured out we were going slower than we should have been. At the depth we were at the speed what we were set to, we should have gone 5 miles and we went 3.5 or something. It's why? What's happening? But
You left a porthole open. Lots of drag.
And why is Levi dead? What's going on? But yeah, that's my favorite way to do a co-op. And those two games are the two that I can think of that have nailed it. And I really want to see more games again, in my head, I picture a game like Root or Vast, and I'm like, imagine if that was co-op. And it's this person's running the market, this person's running this, and you have to make your village survive and stuff. It blows my mind. So those are my favorite. Make sure you do a lot of research though before jumping into a game like that, because they are
a lot
stressful and they are a lot. Yeah.
So what I was going to say, your favorite co-op game is Just One.
So that's on here.
Nice.
Yep.
You did think of it.
That's remember I said, and one is technically 5 players because Just One is 3 to 7.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, Just One I play co-op only, and I don't even know there's an actual rule set for it, because who reads the rule book of a game like Just One or Concept?
Right.
But basically we just play to where if the person gets it right, you put it face up. If they get it wrong, you put it face down. And whenever we decide to stop playing, whether it's 3 minutes or 3 hours, we just see which piles higher.
Yeah.
And that says, did we win or lose?
I believe that it's actually you get it X amount of times, right? You
There's
are the
13
person.
rounds or something.
Yeah. Something like
the
that.
technical
And then you
rule.
just see how well you did.
Right.
How many
yeah,
you
that's
got.
the official co-op rule, because you don't have to play co-op. There's some
Right.
kind of getting your own point thing to where you get it and stuff. But
if your clue is used to make the guess.
yeah,
or something.
maybe. Who cares?
Yeah.
just
one.
just play it my way.
Yeah.
Just One. You guys got any other ones before we wrap up?
Yeah. By the way,
Anyone?
Just One. Sorry, Repost Productions. I just like saying that for
Yeah.
people. I have 2 more written on here. Time Stories.
That is a good one.
Again, I love
that
time
makes
travel.
me think of another one then.
Everyone
Yeah.
knows I love time travel. In Time Stories, you're kind of doing quantum leap. You're going back in time, jumping into people's bodies. You are kind of solving, like you're finding clues, trying to solve this mystery. You won't solve it your first time though. So when you run out of time, there's a time track. You get sucked back to the future, and then you go back in, but you have less time this time. But you know stuff.
more.
You're like, oh, we don't need to go talk to that person. We already know where the key is. They told us, so we can skip that. And you're slowly narrowing down this puzzle until you can get to the end and solve the final puzzle. It's a fascinating game. The art style really gets you into that feeling of this time traveler in these pods. And it also has this great insert to where you can pause the game at any time and all the pieces go in the insert in a certain way so that you can take them out, and that's the exact game state you're in the middle of a game. It's fantastic. And then the last one is the big one, right? I haven't mentioned it yet. Sorry, you said you remembered something off of
the detective.
Oh, yeah.
And Chronicles
Sherlock
of Crime.
Holmes. People mention that a lot,
Well,
too,
just
for, like,
specifically detective.
And then the Vienna Connection's coming out too, right? Isn't that the same?
Vienna Connection's already out. It's and the Dune one just came out, too. They're all the same.
Dune House Secrets. It's all built off the same engine.
Yeah.
But that is a really good co-op. Lots of good discussion as you're literally you're using this internet database to research. And everybody's trying to come up with their own deductions and agree upon okay, how are we going to answer these questions at the end? And then Chronicles of Crime from Lucky Duck Games also.
Yep.
So Detective is Portal Games. Chronicles of Crime
is much lighter.
Is much lighter, but it's got that neat
VR
thing where you look around at the crime scene.
It's really cool.
And you're like, okay, I see a toy. Somebody pulled a toy card out.
It's awesome.
And especially,
cards.
I've seen people say that they pair it with the TV so
That's
that everybody can see, and that's awesome.
Yeah. We'll put most of the people in the one room looking at the TV as you look around, and then one person over by the cards just yanking out the cards that are called out.
Right. Yeah, really cool
Yeah,
mechanic.
very well done. I haven't played all the expansions. We've got some of them to review.
Yep.
Okay.
That we will definitely have to check out. But man, I like both of those systems, and they're different enough that if you like those detective style games, they work very well together.
And did you have another one?
Nope, go for
okay,
it.
mine's my big one. I haven't mentioned it yet, guys. What is
Robinson Crusoe.
Robinson Crusoe.
That's what I thought you were going to say your favorite
The
one
Adventures
was.
on the Cursed Island. It's
really good.
Probably my favorite co-op
Again, Portal games.
right now, if you're not counting a just one kind of thing.
Sure.
But maybe just because it gets to the table more than XCOM and stuff, because, again, that mechanic I like. But Robinson Crusoe, so not only is it a gorgeous game, not only does it actually have unique mechanics in it, especially when it came out, some of it's been done now, but that deck system where the cards come back to haunt you later.
Oh, I love it.
It was mind-blowing the first time I played it. And then it's just, man, talk about, what do you got? Hate Island? Is that what you call it?
Misery Island?
Misery Island. Yeah,
I say that, but I like the game.
Yeah, I mean, they say that a lot.
I don't like Agricola very much.
Sure.
Which I do call Misery
Misery
Farm.
Cave or Misery
But
Farm,
I do like Caverna, which is Misery Cave. So,
He doesn't understand the definition of misery. He just puts it in front of everything.
He loves that movie, too. It's such a happy-go-lucky movie. No.
She's a big fan.
She's a big fan of his writing.
Yeah, I haven't seen the end. What happens?
Oh, yeah. They get married, right?
But Robinson Crusoe, Portal Games, 1 to 4 players. It's just talk about a difficult co-op. You really gotta be, okay, what is important?
Yeah.
We have to do this stuff in the right order or else we're going to die. It comes with 12 scenarios or something you can play in the base game. Maybe it's 10 because there's 5 that are each double-sided or something.
Yeah.
There's plenty of expansions that are out for it.
There's even stuff you can get on, scenarios you can get on and print off.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It's really good.
There's the Kickstarter, upgrade special edition thing or whatever coming out Q2 or something of next year.
You might be able to get on GameFound and get on and...
It either just ended or it ends very soon. So check it out if you're interested. I don't have enough things to say about Robinson Crusoe. It's a fantastic game. It's one of the only games I have bought the upgraded special thing for. I'm getting everything.
Sure.
Not everything, but most things from that. I mean, if you want a difficult Swiss Family Robinson Crusoe, or Robinson Crusoe, some people say. I've never understood it. I've always pronounced the C as a separate, it has a hyphen. Caruso.
Yeah.
Like that. People say
Robinson. In the Weird Al song.
Sure. I'm just saying, people say Robinson Crusoe. Robinson
Crusoe.
That's what I'm trying to say. People say Robinson Crusoe.
They say that because of the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, is
you
that
like
why?
your stories like Robinson Crusoe.
but I don't know if it's where you're from on the planet kind of thing. But I've always said Caruso. I don't know what else to say. Everyone knows I like Robinson Crusoe. Fantastic exploration, worker play. Oh, that's the other thing. The worker placement mechanic.
Oh, it's so tough.
Never seen that since. So
Yeah.
the worker placement is you have 2 workers, and
It's you. It's just how you're dividing your day.
so you have 12
Half days.
hours.
Yeah.
So this guy's 12 hours. This guy's 12 hours. So if I go here and here, I have a chance to complete both. You roll dice, and there might be events, and you have like a 50-50 to complete the goal. But if I put both my workers on top of each other on the same spot, I'm spending all day doing that task. I am guaranteed to complete it. I have never seen another game do something like that.
It's
and
really
I
good.
love it. It's so thematic, too.
It's really good
and it makes
because
it really hard.
Yeah. Because it's super useful to hyper focus, but now there's all these other things that are getting done.
But still, I wish I could dedicate a whole day to a task and guarantee I finish it.
Unrealistic.
I know. It's very
Unrealistic game mechanic.
Just to sum up what I said earlier, because if you haven't played, the card mechanic I was talking about is basically you might draw a card that says you see footsteps leading to and away from camp. That's it. And then you might get something like an item or something too that you find on the ground. That card then gets shuffled back into the deck. And if that card comes up later, now you read the bottom half of the card. It might says the camp is attacked by a bear. And it's like, well, it warned you earlier there were tracks. Some animal knew where your
You could
where your
get
camp
bit by a
was.
snake.
Yeah,
And then the
and
venom
need poison
card-
or
yeah.
need medicine later. Yeah, if
Yes.
you don't have medicine, take a couple injuries or something. And yeah, so it
Yeah.
kind of warns you. It gives you a hint. Hey, you got bit by a snake. Maybe work on some medicine.
It's a little Oregon Trail-y, right? You have died of dysentery.
Yeah, exactly. But there are just so many great things in that game. Yes, it's hard, but if you like hard, like I've probably played Robinson Crusoe 30 times, maybe won 4.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. It's so good.
I played a few times. The only time we won was because when we lost, the guy who taught us the game was like, well, let's just play like a couple more rounds, see what happens, and then we won. But I
nice.
think he knew we were like close to winning and lost a closer game.
Also,
But I was like, well, that's cheating.
I've also heard that the scenario that the rulebook tells you to start with, this is the intro scenario, the rookie
Okay.
scenario, blah, blah, blah. Everyone that I know that has like put a lot of time in that game says that's like one of the hardest scenarios. Like they're like,
Oh.
don't
Surprised you
do
would play
that.
the intro scenario. 'cause
Well,
you're being a
it's
professional
just
gamer.
that it's the first one, so
Oh,
you play them in
okay.
order, and also everyone says it's not the intro, evidently. But yeah, because
Well, it
that's
teaches you all the base mechanics.
Yeah.
It just then kills
that might
you.
be why I've won so few though, is because most of the
play that
times
all
I've
the
played the
time?
hard
Yeah.
scenario. But
You're actually
anyway.
going to get into it and be like, this is easy.
Also, should mention like Nemesis as
Oh,
a
yeah.
campaign mode, right?
Yeah, I almost mentioned it because it has a full co-op mode,
Sure.
but I haven't played.
But it also has a campaign mode in addition to a full co-op mode.
which I haven't played.
Right. No, I just wanted to mention.
but it exists.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that is a thing that does exist
Yes.
because sometimes the legacy style or a campaign style is more appealing, and it's nice when you don't have to do that. Also,
Right.
but anyways, is that it?
Yeah,
We got them
that's
all.
it. I think
That
For
is
now,
it.
I'm sure there are some we've forgotten.
There's tons
Please let us know
more.
in the comments. Also, join up on Discord. There's a link below the video, right?
Yep.
And join up there. We've got board game discussions and chats, and
Yeah.
we've been scheduling stuff to play online together. and
Tim and I are also just both on Discord a lot in general.
Yeah.
So we are very communicative. Like we're just talking back and forth with like Potato Legion and stuff. Like we're just talking back and forth, usually insulting each other. Bob, not a huge Discord fan, not on there much.
Not so much.
But he does exist.
I do.
you get on there and be like, "Hey, I got a question for Bob,"
Yeah.
and then Bob has to get on.
Then
there.
I have to get on. Or you're like, hey, I really want to
Bob.
play some Max and Eyes. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
All right. I'm on. I'm there.
I mean, I'm already in the middle of 4 games, but I could probably squeeze.
I probably squeeze you in. Yeah, I'll pence you in.
Right, right. But yeah, no, the nice thing is it's right now it's a small community, but it's very active and everybody's kind of we've got these running chats. I absolutely love it. Also, feel free to comment on the videos. Dan or I try to respond very quickly.
It's actually, I used to be the only person who responded, and lately Tim's been so much faster than me because of my work hours that I kind of just let him take over this
Yeah.
one. He's so fast.
Paying attention.
Sometimes I like things.
Yeah.
Oh,
But no, also, we have the Facebook group, and while you're on there, clickety-clacking around, be sure to check out the miniatures rundown, the Magic the Gathering rundown, the MTG rundown,
Yep.
and the Pokemon rundown.
don't forget, if you want an audio-only version of this podcast, we're on Anchor, Spotify, any of those basic
the
places.
Apple,
Yeah.
I use the Apple.
People say, and anywhere podcasts are found, but I don't know if we're actually everywhere.
We're on
Most places.
We're on a lot of them.
Yeah.
So the weekly version of the show is on there as well.
This is all in the description.
Please check out our friends at the Board Game Mechanics.
They're not in the description.
Jason and Katie are pretty okay.
Pretty
and
okay.
we are running a joint giveaway with them right now.
Oh, yes.
So you get on Gleam and you do the things, right? So there should be a link in this episode description, and there is also stuff over on the Board Game Mechanics page and in their groups you can see. We've also got them posted in the social medias. So if you can't find the link and you want to know where it's at, get on there and be like, hey man, where's the link? Because I will copy and paste that sucker, put it right up
And
there
we'll yell
for
at
you.
Jeff for not putting it in there.
That's right.
earlier.
But we are giving away Harry Potter Codenames and Machikoro Legacy. So all you got to do is get on there, and it's like visit us on YouTube and visit us on Twitter. It's really easy. It says @Timbot, but that technically also links to the Board Game Rundown.
okay.
So Jason, grab the easy one and not the
Sure.
but it's all
counts.
still the same account, still counts. So much love for that. So thank you guys. As always, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I was Dan.
We'll see you next time.
next time.
Bye.
It turns out friendship was the hardest co-op all along.
boy.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.